You're listening to the Feelgood Factor podcast, brought to you by Health Bunker. I'm your host, Don Watson. Health Bunker is a CQC registered wellness clinic offering complementary treatments like ozone and intravenous nutritional therapies, infrared saunas, diagnostics, and many other therapeutic modalities for various illnesses like Lyme disease, autoimmune issues, hormones, and cancer. Utilising the skills of our experienced team, who are a group of highly qualified nurse practitioners. Health Bunker also has a growing range of high-quality supplements, including unique herbal formulations. The aim is to help you take control of your own health.
Welcome to the Feelgood Factor podcast. Now please welcome your host, Dom Watterson.
Welcome to this Feel Good Factor podcast. This will probably be the first one as well. And today I've got someone I met about 7 or 8 months ago, and we got on well. I think he chatted with our Chris for quite a long time at the London gig we did with Sheep Farm. But this is slightly different. We're going to all we're going to talk about is health on this podcast. And I've got Ben Bell with me from naturalhealth.com. Ben Bell, naturalhealth.com. Rolls off your tongue, that.
Amazing intro. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate your time and getting in contact with me.
Well, I mean, firstly, let's get into what you actually do for people and how you help people and where people can find you.
Yeah, no worries. So I consider myself a natural health educator. Originally, it was a natural health consultant because I used to do 90-day programs for people, revamp their diet, do an elimination process, etc. But I found some clients wouldn't stick to the 3 months, and fair enough. I'm not there to babysit the whole way, so they have to take some responsibility with that. But I found in the end it was just a lot easier and maybe more beneficial to both myself and the client if we just done a 45-minute to an hour Zoom call, and they can note take, and then at the end I'll send them a follow-up email of key references, details, etc. for certain things. And I just find it was a bit more of a natural flow and getting to know someone and understanding their health challenge. But yeah, basically I revamp the diet, their lifestyle, and more or less that is what I sort of specialize in.
And how long have you been doing that then?
2022.
Right. So since the lockdowns.
Yeah, but I've been into health for the previous 11 years.
Yeah.
It just took me that amount of time to do enough research, do it on myself first and foremost before I practice what I preach, and then test it on a few family members who might have a health
guinea
challenge.
pigs. Yeah.
You got to have them. I've built up some confidence to make a website, and then I liked, ideally, rather than the social media route, I like doing word of mouth. So I'd put up, little posters and cards and get into conversations with people and go from there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I find the blockage when people ask. I don't really help people directly. I find it difficult to help people directly. One, it saddens me when people are ill.
absolutely.
So I struggle to get involved in that side of it, even though we've got a clinic, which we'll probably talk about in a bit. But also the commitment's a hard thing for people to do for various reasons. Some of it might be financial, some of it might be time, some of it might just be that they can't do it mentally for some reason.
Absolutely. And with my approach, I take baby steps, real small, easy steps, easy achievable things. Because in general, I call it a health IQ. most of the masses, their health IQ, especially in the Western world, is extremely low. And so when you come at them with this very simple information, which to them seems like a massive mountain, I've seen the light switch off and they're just not interested. They look at you like you've just shat on the floor. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So, so you've got to take it real easy sometimes, you know.
yeah. There's a lot of ego attached to it and defensiveness,
Mhm.
and I can speak from a personal experience on that, just from me.
Mhm.
You do go into a bit defensive, like, well, that ain't bad to eat. I weren't eating bad food,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it might be. My lifestyle's all right, thank you very
Mhm.
much.
And then comes, what do you know? You're not a doctor. What's your qualification?
Yes,
Where's your white coat?
yeah,
And that shows how powerful that kind of a hypnosis of a white coat and a qualification represents.
mm.
Um,
Well, I mean, that uniform was put there because of what you've just said there.
mm,
By
mm.
I think it was,
Authority.
yeah, the Madison Avenue people
Mm.
decided on the white coat. Might have been, I don't think it was Edward Bernays, but it was one of them people.
Makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But that diet is very
Mm.
personal to people, and
Hmm.
even we're going to talk about water in a bit. But diet is, I don't know, you get attacked, even if it's a one. I can talk to friends and they'll
Yeah.
say, "What do you think I should do health wise?" I say, "Well, even our Chris,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I'll say, right, well, you can't eat gluten, you can't eat
Mm.
sugar or any
Mm.
wheat products for that.
Mm.
You can't have dairy, you can't
Mm.
drink alcohol, or certainly not to the extent that people do." Um, he said, "Well, I'm out already then."
So, Dom, you just described me.
Yeah.
I can I can eat them, but it's a choice because
Yeah.
I know how either synthetic, sprayed up chemically, or just hybridized that food is and how inflammatory it is. Hence why we've got such a decline in health population,
Or
right? Because
population,
of
in
those
fact.
products. What's that?
Or
Yeah,
population.
yeah. Another little agenda there, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm exactly like you. I never eat out because I can't trust any restaurants, what oils they use, what cooking ware they use, whether they've washed their hands, for example. I never eat out. I always make my own stuff forever.
I
That's
mean,
it.
I really struggled when I was really quite ill with,
Mm,
I'll call them allergies, but more chemical reactions from
mm.
even the detergent they'd used or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
from a restaurant. I mean,
Hmm.
I'd just eat plain food like uh, anyway for lunch or dinner. Um,
Hmm.
but even if I went out, I'd still eat plain food. But obviously, if you go to a restaurant, they don't want you to give you plain food; they want it to be fancy, so you come back again.
Absolutely.
But for
Yeah,
me, the plainer the better.
yeah.
Uh,
On a special occasion, for example, like an anniversary, if we go out, I call that restaurant up weeks before and say, look, I'm coming in on this day. Could you just do me a bed of organic rocket with organic avocado on it? And they're like, yeah, is that it? I'm like, as long as it's organic.
I'll pay for it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'll pay double if I have to.
yeah,
I just, socially, I understand the dynamic if you've got no food on your table.
yeah.
I get that. But yeah, so there are what's it called? Exceptions to the rule on
Mm,
occasions like that.
yeah. I
But I
mean,
have to call ahead.
yeah.
Yeah,
We went into. I found that a lot of the food, even the what you class as superfoods, if you like, or even
yeah, yeah.
decent vegetables like avocado, used
Mm,
to cause me a problem, and I didn't
mm,
understand what it was. I eat avocado now.
mm.
I put it in my green juice every
Amazing.
day, or
Yeah.
green smoothie. But anyway,
Yeah.
but it's high in histamine,
Yes,
and
it is. Yeah.
and it used to destroy my
Mm.
respiratory system, and I didn't understand it because it used to be really frustrating.
Yeah. Was this after you had Lyme or before?
After,
So it makes sense to me. Do you think so? Lyme disease is often associated with potential parasites, right? Do you think parasites determine what you eat, how you think, if you're very badly infected? Do you think they were like, what is this? Because it's healthy, and they just potentially altered, or poisoned your blood more? I don't know how it truly
I
works,
look
but
at
you understand?
these
Yeah.
things, I think, are multi-layered. I
Okay.
think, for instance, if you've got set of symptoms that
Mm.
cause certain things, right?
Mm.
But 10 things in your diet cause the same thing. By
Mm.
taking one out, ain't going to solve it, is it?
Very
type of thing.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And so could it be parasites? Yes. I've got rid of thousands. I mean thousands as well. Um,
Everyone has them. That's the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You can't avoid them.
You can't avoid them. And I've got a friend. It's not a nice subject. He's a mortician, and he says when I've obviously got a body,
Mm.
the things that are coming out of them are parasites because they're looking for a
Absolutely.
new
Yeah, yeah.
host.
They're the
Uh,
cleanup crew, aren't they?
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah, but they're looking for a new host because that one's dead.
Oh, I
Uh,
understand. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and obviously they're pumping toxic chemicals, formaldehyde and things like that into it.
Well,
Into the body.
funny enough, I used to be an undertaker for a couple of
Right.
years.
Yeah.
15 years ago, and I didn't know what I knew now about health
Mm.
then, so I wouldn't have thought that way. But it makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
absolutely.
And so if these things are multi-layered, then
Mm.
I, I felt better when parasites started going, leaving my body.
Absolutely.
Uh, Not necessarily initially, because obviously these things don't want to leave you. It's nice
No,
and
no,
warm and
you
nice.
have to bombard them, and you have to be consistent with the protocol to rid of
Yes,
these critters.
and
The
there isn't one protocol either. That's the
No,
thing.
no, there's multiple.
Mm.
So I've got a bunch of like books that have really helped my research out over
Yeah.
the years, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Hulda Clark, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of her stuff, but I mean, she is all about parasites
Yes.
for every single disease,
Mm.
more or less, and I do believe that to be more than likely true. You know,
But I
they
think
certainly
that
trigger a lot of stuff.
this is my personal experience. Not necessarily saying for everybody. Everybody's
Yeah,
different. That's the thing as well.
very
So
true.
some of these things won't affect people like the effect. I mean, is it rhesus negative? They
Yeah,
can get rid of parasites a lot easier than rhesus positive.
yes,
And
100%.
and
Yeah.
then there are micro blood types within the rhesus negative
Hmm.
as well. So everybody's going to be different.
Yeah.
And as a I'm rhesus positive, so
Oh no.
I
Okay.
struggle with the getting rid of parasites. I'm not like I think it's
Mm.
15% of the population are rhesus negative.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
so I'm with the
girlfriend.
majority. Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but were parasites causing me a problem prior to Lyme or after Lyme? I'd say after. I think these things
Mm.
possibly get into areas they shouldn't get into:
Absolutely. Yeah,
brain,
yeah.
nervous system,
Hmm.
what have you. And I know we're going to get people saying, "Well, germ theory versus terrain theory." Well, we'll give our opinions on that. I'm not saying we're right, by the way, but
Mm.
it should be something that's talked about, not necessarily said, "Well, if you think that way, you're an idiot." Um,
Yeah, yeah.
because I think everybody reacts differently to different things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not
It's very,
everybody's
it's
not everybody's going to get better using ozone, for instance. Yeah,
very true.
yeah.
Well, I apply the same to diets.
Mm.
Um, blood type depends on certain things. So I'm vegan, as you may know, but true vegan. I'm not mainstream vegan. I think the fake meats, the soy products, the high sugar content sweets and stuff, garbage. You'll be severely deficient and unhealthy as a vegan. But I consider myself, it sounds a bit wanky, but true vegan. Organically, seasonally, I fast if I can't
I'd
eat.
say honest vegan.
Yeah, and it's all choice. I would never go into the co-op and pour milk on the floor and go, "How dare you? This is murder." I'm not all about that. It's all about choice. It really is. But it doesn't work for everyone as well.
Mm.
It's a very cleansing diet
Yeah.
initially for the first 3 months. I reckon most people would get on with it. However, long term, some people just can't deal with it, don't want to do it, which is fine. So you have to find what works for you. I think each client of mine, and for the foreseeable, it's all individual based. It's not like have this everyone, and you'll be fine. No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
So you have to isolate each.
And also different at different times. Like we were running a low histamine diet at one point. So
Yeah.
I took all the foods out of mine because my wife got Lyme disease as well. So we must have caught
Mm.
this on holiday, got this on from holiday. Anyway, long story.
Yeah.
So we took all the histamine out of the diet in food. So
Mhm.
anything, and we were taking things that help mop up the residue histamine that were left that your body couldn't get rid of.
Sure.
The
Mm.
simple fact is when you've got something like we've got, it messes up your naturally occurring things that help you detox,
Mm.
like your MTHFR
Mm.
genetics get turned off, and that means you can't methylize anything. Hence why you end up with chronic fatigue and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's a
There's always
difficult
a
thing.
payoff. There's a
Yes,
payoff, isn't there?
100%. Yeah.
Mm.
The diet that worked for me was ketogenic.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, I've
Yeah.
heard that a lot, and it's a powerful diet.
Mm.
It really does clean up stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but my wife didn't function as well on ketogenic
Mm.
diet. She's more,
Yeah.
I call it paleo diet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody works differently. So
Mm.
if people are listening to this, don't think that you pushing one diet is not
Mm.
the way forward.
No, no, no. Yeah. So I have clients who still want to eat meat after my program would say pause it for 3 months. Heal yourself with the natural herbs and the plants, and then go from there. This happened to my cousin. My cousin had Crohn's disease. It took
Yeah.
him 4 months, and then he was in remission due to stopping all the meat and fish and sushi,
Yeah.
right? Because
Sushi. Yeah.
essentially Crohn's, etc., like that, it's all parasitic infection of the gut,
Mm.
and it just depends how much has taken over you, basically. So I put him on a essentially a true vegan diet, organic and stuff, and we combined with a few other bits and pieces. And yeah, 4 months, and he's still eating fish and
Mm.
meat
Mm.
because he can doctor himself now.
Yes.
He knows if he's gone a bit too far, he'll reduce. So he
I mean,
understands he's got the
I don't
weight.
eat red meat anymore.
Yeah,
We
sure.
were, as if you listen to the other podcast, you know we were brought up on a farm, and sheep farm.
Mm-mm.
So we ate a lot of red meat when we were younger, both beef, lamb, and pork. Although you
Yeah,
can't really class it as red, but you know what I mean. So my main meat source is fish.
yeah, sure.
Um,
Currently, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it has been for 10 years.
yeah, sure.
Um,
Do you think then, because fish arguably could be, well, it hosts all types of worms and stuff, right?
so I didn't eat much fish prior to changing my diet and finding out I had Lyme, which was in 2017.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So it's not 10 years, it's about 8 years.
Sure. Yeah.
27, yeah, about 8 or 9 years.
Mhm.
Um, so the parasites started coming out right when I changed my diet.
Cool. Yeah.
So these things were obviously stacking up there because
Yeah.
some of them are length of a bath, as I've got evidence
Wow.
to prove some
Okay.
of the size of these things.
Do you remember the protocol you did to achieve that?
I mean, we did different things.
Mm.
Initially, I had a friend who was a naturopath, and
Mm.
she did the live blood testing, which is something we're going to get into in the clinic, where they prick your finger, they put it
Mm.
on 2 glass slides, put it under a microscope, show you on a screen.
Yeah.
And this was going back 2008, 2009, and these are show parasites swishing around your blood. So we were
Mhm.
taking black walnut, wormwood,
That's
clove,
it.
things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But that
Nice.
seemed to must have just got rid of these surface parasites, what are called
Mm.
surface, i.e.,
Yeah.
blood,
Not the
ones in your
deep
blood
one.
and things, you know.
Mm. Mm.
But the turning point for me was two things: ozone TEMPAS therapies, ozone insufflations, which is basically putting ozone into your colon,
Mm.
and Mimosa pudica. But they were the two. They were the three things that were on ozonated water as well.
Excellent.
That's what
And
we followed every
was it
day.
quite instant, or did it happen over the course of a week, slowly and gradually, or was it quite intense?
Uh, it, mine started a bit sooner than my wife's. I was listening to a podcast, and been doing loads of testing. We'd done the parasite test, and this guy
Mm.
said we're going to on this podcast. I forget his name now. We're going to talk about parasites. This was about 2017, something like that, 2018, and he said we're going to talk about parasites. And I thought, well, we've already had tests showing negative, so I won't bother listening to this. And he said, even if you've had blood tests or stool tests, you need to listen to this. So I thought, oh, right, I'll listen to it. And he told a story about his wife having Lyme disease and taking these things. So I thought, right, I'm going to order some. And that's where that started. 2 weeks after, these things started coming out like you've never
Mm.
seen before in your life.
Mm.
And
I bet that felt quite good in a way, just seeing they're out of
not
you.
well, at first it was a bit unnerving because you didn't know
What have I done to myself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these things, but these things cause a bit of illness as well. They can cause so as well as
Yes.
you being already ill, you're
Yes.
getting sharp gut pains and
Herpes reaction.
irks reaction.
Herpes reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, um,
Mm.
so you're getting sharp gut pains, they're causing
Yes.
headaches, causing
Yeah.
flu-like symptoms, nausea,
Yeah.
things like
Because they're
that.
releasing all their toxins into your blood, so
Yes,
your body can purge it out, but your body's got a certain set speed, so it takes a little while.
and my
Yeah.
speed's slow because obviously the methylization detox inside of it is
Okay.
slow
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was making this I call it a detox cake, but this cake
Mm.
as well with coconut flour and
Oh, nice.
psyllium
Yeah,
husk and things like that. It was
amazing.
all
Yeah,
pure, all coconut basically.
yeah, yeah,
Fortunately, I didn't have an allergy to coconut, or I'd have been
yeah,
fucked.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so coconut oil, coconut.
Hmm.
Uh, I sweetened it with stevia. Some people don't like stevia, but I use stevia,
Yeah, yeah,
and it helped bind a lot of the toxins as
absolutely.
well.
And it kind of scrapes the walls as it goes down as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's
but
coconut is so underrated. I don't know
yeah.
how it's not more popular.
Just look
I
at the
understand it's
places where
England.
it's grown and how long these people live for that are eating all this
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. They look incredible.
Mm. But you see
Yeah.
these people in paddy fields still bent over,
Mm.
kneeling down, picking rice and what have you, and the 70-odd-year-old, 80-year-old.
Yeah.
You can tell that their diet is 10 times ours.
You just have to look at the Eastern world and their old, youthful looking people and go, they're onto something.
Mm.
Why do we always think we're right over here just because we have the most so-called advanced technology and medicine?
Yeah,
I mean, if you just look at it, if even if you've just got two eyes, it says we're the sickest countries in the world,
yeah.
but the most advanced at the same time.
Well,
I think there's something up here.
we call it a failure, but it's not. Obviously, it's too big to be a failure. It has,
It's,
and I don't want to get all my conspiracy out on, but
no, no, no.
it's
But just observing it, once you sort of dig a little bit deeper, it's a business model.
yeah, the business of
Your
illness.
health is their business.
Yeah.
And we know this. But you're not going to change the world, but you can change your world
Mm.
for yourself and individual people, especially the ones who are open to it,
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. I'm
Mm.
not here to save the world, but I'm here to save the world for one individual who maybe wants help.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm.
And the foods, for instance, we were talking about parasites, weren't we? So the foods that you've stopped eating that fed these things as well. That's a help, obviously, as well, to get rid of these
100%.
things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Usually sugar and acidic kind of foods.
mm,
They love
yeah.
it, but it doesn't love you.
No, and especially when you're compromised, let's say, health
Mhm.
wise, and your terrain's already damaged. It's a difficult one to navigate through.
100%.
But do you know the one thing, Ben, I
Yeah.
say to people? The one thing that's free in your life is changing your mind.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that doesn't cost you any money, doesn't cost you any time or effort. That
No.
is, it's free. You can do it like that.
Mm.
But it's the hardest thing to do.
Absolutely. Think how hard it is to change yourself with everything you've done up until now. Now try and change someone else, random. It's almost impossible. They have to want it and have to apply it themselves.
Yes.
With health, as you know, you have to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
You can't pray for it. You can't
No.
pray for good health. You can't wish for good health. You can't do a 2 week detox and think, that's it, I'm back. No, no, no. Unfortunately, in this time and day, it's a consistent thing you have to do for life. Because every time you step out that door, you're breathing in chemicals, chemtrails, pollutants in the atmosphere. Straight away, your body's under attack.
Yeah.
So you have to be on it. You have to doctor yourself, learn, be self-sufficient. Because the so-called experts don't always get it right.
Well,
In fact, we could
you,
argue to say,
they very rarely get it right. I mean, I'm
yes,
sure some of
exactly,
them
yeah,
get it right sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
I'd never knock the accident guys or the
Oh God, no,
emergency services.
no, no.
But yeah, it's
I always say that doctors and nurses aren't bad people.
no,
They clearly care about people because they got into those professions.
yes,
Unfortunately, it's the industry that runs it
yeah,
which determines what they get taught,
yes,
and it's hard to a good friend of mine is a doctor. There's no way I'd ever even approach him about what I do. I think he's aware of it, but he hasn't said nothing, and that's cool. I'd
yeah.
still be open to talking to him, but I don't think he'd
They'd
see
be
it that
open
way,
to yeah.
and that's fine. No
Well,
hate.
yeah. It's well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because you're taking control of your health, so it's irrelevant
Mm.
what anybody else thinks outside
Very true.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we did. There's no short term easy fix either. I think
Mm.
people, because we've been brought up in this, you've got 40 channels on your TV and you just click, click, click. They think we all think, and I was the same, that health is like that. There's something wrong with me. I go to doctors, gives me a pill, and it's all over with. And that pill then causes 50 other problems. But
Yes, yes, it
but
does.
we're, you can't look in this. You can't look for a shortcut. There is no shortcut. It's painful to change.
Mm.
It is
Yes,
painful.
you're almost putting up your own social status of I'm this now and I'm doing this, and you slowly start getting uninvited to things like socially meals, for example. Perfect
Good.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but that's the route you've chosen to do because you know longevity is the end. Oh, hopefully the end result,
Yeah.
unless you get hit by a bus or something.
Mm.
Um, but in terms of disease prevention and longevity, I'm doing it not only for myself to be an example to others, but also I'm doing it because I have a young family
Yeah.
and I want to be with them for as long as I can, to
Mm.
educate them for as long as I can, and
Yeah.
to be limble and functional as an older person, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it for myself and my family.
Mm.
That's true purpose.
Yeah. Too. It is. Yeah.
True,
It
true
is. Yeah.
purpose. And that's
I,
almost all that matters.
I say that to a lot of my friends have been in business, they've been successful financially, if you like.
Mm,
And I said to them, what's the point of being living your life like you are, doing all that stuff if you drop at 60 or at,
yes.
at the time when you want to enjoy
Terminally
what
ill
you've
or
done?
something. Yeah.
Now, there is a chance that you might end up like that, regardless of how you look at yourself, because of the historic crap that you might still have in your system. That
Very true.
I'm not, I'm not deceiving myself, but I don't know what crap I've got swishing around in my system.
Mm.
If we're all honest, none of us do. That's just a reality of it all. We don't know how damaged our system is either, and how much
Yeah.
we're rectifying it sometimes, do
Another thing which is powerful and
we?
is often never talked about is your intent. I think intention is a powerful, almost force.
Yeah,
So if your intent is to achieve this, I mean, you will. And if your intent is to think, it won't work, well, you're right, it won't work.
yeah.
So intention. So my intent is to, talk about what we're doing and practice it as well. Um, intent is powerful. So,
Intent. Well,
yeah,
the people that run this show, they run it on intent. It might
Mm.
be the opposite intent that we're thinking
Yeah,
about,
yeah, yeah.
but
But it works.
but it works.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember 25 years ago thinking I wouldn't mind getting into health, and uh,
Mm.
and it weren't a plan or anything like that, but I have got into health through a different way that I probably envisaged it at that time.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've said this, but in about 2002, I wanted to understand more about myself. So the lady that lived next door to me was a homeopathic nurse. And I
Mm.
said to her, do you know anybody who does hypnosis, like clinical hypnosis? Because I want to get into why I'm making these same decisions over and over again. And she said, I do actually. So I went to see this lady not far from my house. And I went every Monday, because I'm
Mm.
a bit like that, as you might see with my research. You're probably the same, actually.
Consistent. Good.
Yeah. Every Monday up to 2010.
Wow.
Right. Unless I was away on holiday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But every Monday,
Solid 8 years.
all through feeling ill and everything.
Yeah.
Right. But she was a clinical psychologist as well. I didn't realize that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Mm.
Oxford grad, etc. Yeah. And I learned so much about myself. It was unreal. To the point where I wanted to do a psychology.
Oh,
I
wow.
hate school and stuff. But she said, you're wasting your time. You don't need it.
Okay, that's that's
Yeah.
that's nice to hear as well, isn't it?
Not because I know everything, but what I mean is you don't need to do it because you're not going to operate in that world.
Mm.
So it's pointless.
Mm.
Um, and But understanding what you do and why you make decisions is a very important thing, and being able to ask yourself why
Mm.
you make these decisions as well,
Yeah.
and not be scared of the answer when you put it out there into the universe.
Well, this is why I resonated so much with Sheep Farm because yourself and Chris, more so yourself, I think, but you have or almost organic authenticity about you. You're just yourself, and you call it out. You speak straight about it. You have a laugh as well, which I really like about it as well. But I could see that straight away, or at least hear it straight away on the podcast.
Well, maybe all of us resonate. Hence why when we met up, and I think you were a bit surprised when I got back in touch with you. But
I
it's
was,
always
yeah.
been talk
I
about
thought.
intention. It's always been my intention to get back in touch with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the time when I spoke to you, you asked me a real an easy question, but to me, I couldn't answer it. I was like, oh, well, that's a good point. I think you said, I said to you, I was in a bit of a lower state of mind at the time, unfortunately, and
We all get them, mate. We all get them.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're human. Up and down emotions. It's
Mm.
totally normal, and you just have to push through, and a solution will present itself. I remember you said something along the lines of, well, why do you think that is then? Because I said I haven't really got many clients lined up at the moment, blah 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 blah. Just a bit bummed out, really. And you said, well, why is that? And I was like, you stumped me. And I was like, in my head, I think I even said to you at the time, maybe it's childhood trauma, maybe it's this, that, and the other. And I thought, I don't think it is, because I had a good childhood. And I went home that night, I thought about it, what is it then? What is that answer? And it eventually came to me, imposter syndrome.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the
100%.
phone, didn't we, the other
Yeah,
day? Yeah.
100% it was that. I was like, yeah, I know I've got uh, heaps of information in my mind.
Mm.
I've practiced it myself and I've seen good results. I've got testimonials from clients. I've got it going on. Be
Yes.
more confident.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me, or there was then especially, where I was just like, they're gonna find out you're a fraud. They're gonna, you got no qualifications. You ain't this and that. I'm like, you
That's
have to
the
tell yourself.
egregore talking to you.
Yeah.
That's the attachments talking to you,
No, it is.
talking you out of it.
Absolutely, and they use well. I think I listened to was it your podcast, the entity attachment. It's they use your voice, so you
Yes.
don't even know it's them,
Yeah.
which makes sense
It's
because
an
sometimes
interesting.
a
Yeah.
thought comes to me, and it's in my own voice or whatever, and I'm like, that's not a bad idea, but actually, it's probably
Yeah.
misguided me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
taking you off track. But
Mm.
generally, we all make up excuses not to do something, and I include myself in that. By the way, I'm not saying I'm anything any better than anybody else.
No, no, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
we make excuses up so we don't do what's really important to us, and we put off what's really important till we think then it's too late to do it,
Mm.
which is that if all of us do that, everybody who's probably listening to this has done that in the time, put stuff off. That's one thing we found with ozone.
Mm.
When we're training a new nurse up, she had ozone therapy for the first time last week, and I knew what was going to happen. What happens is you feel more balanced. That's generally everybody says that. Even if it don't get rid of your symptoms or anything, you feel more balanced. And also, a day or 2 days later, you find yourself doing things that you've put off for months or years. Even if it's cleaning the house, painting
Yeah.
something, or whatever it is. And she said, "Oh yeah, we're doing loads of jobs." She said, "I couldn't believe how busy I was." And I said, "I told you you would do that." She went, "Oh, you did," because it's an. But these are the things that you've got to find something in your life that brings that back to you, that
Mm.
that stops you stopping yourself doing things that you really want to do, and
Yeah.
you've got so much to offer, yeah,
Mm.
and something's stopping you doing it, and you're a prime example of that, and so was I, and that's what
Mm.
my work in the 2000s did for me. With she's called Kathy. Didn't think like me. She was actually quite anti-conspiratorial, and I
Okay. Okay.
found it a bit strange because of
Mm.
how she thought. She was very open in her
Mm.
thinking, apart from when it came to questioning certain things.
Yeah,
And
certain subjects. Yeah.
yeah, which
Mm.
was it quite an interest. That was interesting learning as well. But
Mm.
um, well, we get emails like I'm sure you do. Look into this or do this, and I always say back to people, why don't you do it yourself? I'm already busy
Yeah.
enough, thank you. I don't need you to ask me to look into something for you,
Mm.
because I'm already doing it.
I find that kind of I understand your point of view. Like, do it yourself, like, because I got a search engine, so do you.
Yeah.
It's not hard to just to type into things. But I often think, is that messages being sent to me via this person to maybe wake me up a bit and go, hey, you're not looking here. Have
Sometimes,
a butcher's.
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I like thinking that way. And I often do because I often think, this annoying, irritating roadblock is actually a good thing.
Mm.
It's redirecting me somewhere, which I probably do need to go have a look.
When me and Chris started the podcast, though,
Hmm.
we said to us, in fact, we said this earlier. I told you I'd sold my business,
Yeah.
and Chris, both of us went through a similar process. Chris said to me, "I'm going to leave my job
mm,
as a chef, head
yes,
chef, and I want to be a freelance chef. And I'm
mm,
going to, and we both sort of said at a similar sort of time, we're going to leave it up to the universe to tell us what
yeah,
to do, right?
yeah,
Now it sounds a bit wish-washy, does that? But it actually worked.
yeah, absolutely.
Uh, in a weird way, because obviously,
Synchronicities and all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and I think that's happened to you, to be honest with you.
yeah, yeah. Well, my awakening was in 2015. It was a spiritual one, and then the sort of so-called conspiratorial stuff came in later. Because I think if you're once you're awake spiritually, you're more open to those kind of
Conspiritually,
subjects.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, the universe. I now call it God, not
yeah,
in a religious way, but I understand that concept more. And so I often alternate between universe and God.
and it's
But
not
I'm
wishing for more things. It's not saying I want to win the lottery. That's not what we're talking about
no,
here.
it's
Yeah,
just the name. It's almost the same source of energy or whatever it may be, universe or God or higher self or guardian angel. I think they're all the same thing. It's just
yeah,
different terminology.
mm,
But yeah, so yeah, not in any organized religion way. Nothing against it. To do what you got to do, but for me, I believe in a creator, and there's something more to this reality beyond,
yes,
and that gives me more confidence, more or less no fear, and take a chance. Just go for it. If you think this business can work, just go for it. What have you got to lose? No one
yeah.
cares anyway if you fail or win, you know.
Well, for some reason, the tools that we've been given are here
Mm,
in this realm. We're not people who have the knowledge that you've got, or with me and Chris talk about, or other people, Mark Devlin or whatever
yeah,
people in the alternative field, if you like, um, do. We're not going to make that much of a difference, whether we like to think we are or not.
no. To
Uh,
certain individuals, sure.
yeah.
You know, like
Individually,
your
maybe, yeah,
fan base,
yeah.
my
Fan base. I don't
clients,
like
your
calling it that.
sorry, your
People who listen, yeah.
followers. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, fan base sounds a bit like, yeah, I know what you mean. Anyway, your
But
supporters,
yeah. I suppose it's
listeners, I should
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
Listeners, yeah.
I don't believe that we're going to make a big change. I look at it as observers more than
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. You're
change.
just relaying what you've observed. Absolutely. And as are your guests.
Yeah.
But I must admit, man, your podcast and Mark Devlin's Good Vibrations. Once I see them come up each week or whenever Mark posts, I'm like, yeah, my mates are back. You know,
You see, going back as well, when you help people, a lady said to me in the clinic the other day, and it's quite astounding. Really. I was sat there and talking to her, and she'd been coming a
mm,
couple of years, and she said, and it was just totally out of blue. We sat talking, and I've never had a conversation with her like this. And I won't mention her name; it's not fair. But
yeah, that's fair.
she said, "Coming here saved my life." It's quite powerful, that,
Yeah,
right?
man, it gets
But
you in
she,
the.
but she was meaning it literally. She meant it literally.
Mm, mm,
A similar sort of circumstance to me. I think she's got Lyme, but
okay.
she had a business and she had to get out of it because she weren't fit enough to work.
Mm,
Um, so she sold her business a bit similar to me, really. And she started another one up after coming to see us. And she said, I wouldn't be able to do that if I hadn't have been coming to see you. Not me personally, but having the treatments.
mm,
And these are the things that you can actually do for people, like you're doing with your. For some reason, the businesses are part of this thing that we live in, this bloody Grand Theft Auto nonsense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you can be in business and not stiff people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You can trade things in this realm. For some
fairly. Yeah.
reason, yeah,
Mm,
fairly, if you want to fairly trade things, right?
mm, mm,
And if you have value to someone and they get help from it, certainly when I was going for treatments, I was getting value from someone else and I was paying them. So I understand that part.
I, I feel the true currency isn't necessarily getting paid at the end of a session. It's seeing the results and them improve their lives. That's the real currency. That's the good stuff.
Mm.
I almost tear up when someone
Oh,
says, "Thank you so much" on an email or something. I now do this. I can see my old habits were, you know,
mm,
making me whatever. Man, it's powerful.
mm.
That's what keeps me going because I'm
Yeah,
like, knowing I've been of service to others
yeah.
That's the purpose, right?
There have been times when I said to Chris, I think we've done enough with this podcast, right? No, I have said that
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Chris. You
fair
can
enough.
ask him. And I
Yeah.
think, I don't know what we can get out of this. Then we'll do a live show and people say to me, I don't know what to do without you guys. And I
Mm.
think, should hell.
It's a weird one for you guys
Yeah.
because from the other side, us watching you on stage or listening
Mm.
to you each week, for you who just started it as a maybe a bit of a laugh, just to talk about the nonsense of 2020 onwards, now you've got an audience.
Mm.
Now you're, essentially
I,
doing live shows.
you,
You would never would have thought that would have been possible back in 2020. No way.
I was just angry.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
absolutely.
angry and annoyed at what were going on.
Mm.
There's no intention to gather any subscribers
I
or
was trying to
whatever.
think earlier how I came across Sheep Farm because I don't remember thinking, oh, I saw that. I'm going to listen. I don't know how I came across it, but I remember I had to look at it after it was played live. But someone had a billboard, didn't they, of Sheep Farm at Glastonbury,
Yeah, well, it was a flag. They asked
a
us. It
flag or
was,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
Um,
was thinking, and it wasn't until I listened to the podcast and heard you guys talk about it, then I sort of started looking for it. I was like, oh, bloody hell.
yeah.
Yeah. But once again, I don't know how I got into it. Maybe through
Patrick
Mark.
and his wife. I've got to say that brought a tear to my eye. Not
Yeah,
because I was
amazing.
interested in being at Glastonbury and having a flag there,
No,
but
no,
it
no.
was
But
more at that time. It was quite an emotional time for all of us. I think who were involved in this side of it,
mm,
and the thought that somebody had gone to the not necessarily trouble, but to have a flag printed to take it down there to go, fuck you, BBC. That
mm,
was a big thing. But anyway,
yeah, it's good.
right. Let's not talk about sheep farm. We promised ourselves we
No,
weren't going to
yeah,
discuss all that stuff.
yeah,
Water purification.
yes.
How important is water purification?
Well, put it this way: whenever I get a new client or any client really, I say, right, the number one thing before any dietary change or lifestyle change, we need to correct your quality of water and obviously the intake of quantity. The reason being is because as humans, we're essentially water creatures or made of it, around 70% more or less, depending. That's a lot of water. And so if you drink contaminated tap water or bottled water, which is full of phthalates and plastic and microplastics and nanoplastics,
Sadly, I'm drinking out of this tonight because I left my water upstairs
it's
and I filled it up out of my tap. Now my tap's got a whole house water filter on it.
good, very,
So
very
yeah,
good.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
excellent. Yeah, so if you drink contaminated water, your whole blood system becomes contaminated essentially. And your brain's mostly made of obviously fat and cholesterol, we know this, but water as well.
Mhm.
So correct the water first, and I will ever forever debunk myths about it. The only way to properly purify water is through water distillation, a water distiller. There's myths surrounding it. It leach the minerals from your body. It's a half truth. It will leach the inorganic material, inorganic minerals, but leave the organic ones alone because we can't actually assimilate inorganic minerals. They
Mm.
actually accumulate in you. So limescale is inorganic minerals, essentially. Everyone knows what limescale is, okay? You see it on your taps, you see it in your kettle. It's chalky
If you've
powder.
got a distiller, you'll see it and bought me a distiller.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
gunky. It's
yeah.
just toxic.
Mm.
My point is, if you drink tap water or bottled water, which is slightly to a slight degree more pure, you could argue. The point is, you start accumulating these inorganic particles. They start going into your weak spots essentially. And what happens when all the limescale particles, inorganic stuff, starts going to a wrist or elbow? It's called arthritis. Yeah, to the brain, it could be a stroke, it could be a dementia, Alzheimer's triggers, stuff like this. So tap water is a no-no. It really is. But if you drink distilled water, it acts as a solvent and begins to break down the inorganic matter and flushes it out the body. But it will always leave that organic material, which we need to thrive. So that's hopefully that myth debunked slightly. Also, it's nature's water. Rainwater is distilled water. It's the same thing. We also live in a distiller. This realm, world, whatever, is a distiller. The hydrological cycle. Sun heats up, evaporates, condensates in the clouds, drops as perspiration. That's how a machine distiller works.
Do
It
you mean
replicates.
do you mean it's not meant to have chlorine in it?
So yeah, man. So a distiller replicates nature, so you don't need to worry about it. The remineralization. So, yes, if you want to remineralize distilled water, you can.
Mm,
Celtic sea salt, a
mm,
squeeze of organic lemon or lime or
mm.
citrus fruit. You can easy. It's done.
Yeah.
If you want to structure your water, which I've done recently because I
Mm,
finally could get a device which spins
yeah.
and it's got copper wire in it and magnets around it.
They're
So
hard
I'm
to get
starting.
out there. They're hard to get them.
Yeah, well, there's a guy called Harry Rhodes, and
Mm,
he done a workshop recently. I went to sort of last year, I think, and he sells these spinning gym shakers
mm,
with the magnets and the copper coil inside. And so I've got one, and because I know a bit about water and stuff, I asked him. I said, okay, so if I was to put, it's only say a pint's worth of water, and it spins for 30 seconds, the setting it structures it because water has memory, right? I said, so that water, if I was to pour it into a big bathtub of essentially tap water, would that structure all the dirty water or the tap water of the bath? He said, yes. I was like, oh, excellent. Because for me, I was thinking, I have to pour so much water into this
Gallons.
one
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
thing. But so, yeah, so what I've started doing is, just structuring a little bit of the water, pouring it into my big carboy jugs,
Mm.
glass jugs of distilled, so that becomes fully structured, and then you can use it from that point on.
Can you
But
just explain what structured water is for people? I mean, I've been
um,
looking at structured water for quite a while, but
essentially, well, because I'm quite new to it
yeah, you'd say
since.
it was energized water. That's what I'd say it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
it I guess it structures the
It brings out
I'm not sure.
the micro minerals in the water as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So there's a company, and I've forgotten its name now, and I was going to buy the system for the house when we
Mm.
first moved in, and I never got round to it. Ended up buying a whole house
Is
water
it
filter installed.
grander water?
No, it isn't. I'll dig it out and I'll email it over the company.
Yeah.
They've got some fantastic videos on like the before and after with when they're doing it in greenhouses with plants and things like that. How these plants treble in size and things, but the taste's still there. Um,
Mm.
so that yeah. Anyway, um, but going back to your distilled water,
Mm.
this there was always a lot of people say, it's taking all the minerals out. There's no minerals in it. You can't absorb the water.
Yeah.
But that's easily changed anyway because you could just add some, I don't know, some salts to it,
Oh,
like you
yeah,
just
yeah,
said.
absolutely.
It's just it's remineralized straight away.
Hmm.
Um, it's not an issue.
But plus, you're starting essentially from ground zero of
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
empty water
yeah.
essentially. So you can add to it to give it back life, if you can call it that. But I'd rather do it to empty water than slightly dirty water,
I'd rather do it with empty
you know.
water rather than water with contraceptive pills in it,
Exactly.
pesticides,
Yeah,
chlorine, etc., in it.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's
And do you know
terrible.
the sad thing is with water, you could
Mm.
invest doing all the water. And for me, although I knew me and my family were drinking clean water, bathing in it, so you're not having showers with chlorine gas swishing up and down,
Yes.
I didn't feel massively different from taking it. I just knew I weren't getting poisoned anymore.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I that's my next investment is to get a whole house filtration system. So, I'll be if you can send me a link later on
Yeah.
for your one or something,
I've got
that'd be
somebody
great.
coming on actually who sells them.
Oh, excellent.
Uh,
Is it Osmio water?
no, in Osmio, this
Okay.
guy, he does his own. He mainly supplies like, like the dentists and things like that.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, excellent.
the biological
But
dentists and stuff.
what you can, if you're on a budget and you want to sort of purify your bath or shower water, you can buy the vitamin C shower heads,
Yeah,
food grade vitamin C, um, from Osmio Water. They
yeah,
sell them. Um, and basically, the vitamin C neutralizes chlorine,
yeah.
and it may filter out a few other toxins here and there.
Mm.
Obviously, it's not a full filtration system,
No,
so you're
no,
gonna
no.
still have stuff come
You're better
through.
with less in than more.
Absolutely, any filtration is better than nothing. But distillation is king. Reverse osmosis is good,
Yeah,
but
got
it's still
5 stage
second.
osmosis, but it's still second to distilling. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Do you purify?
yeah. I've got a distiller. I've had one for
Oh,
about.
amazing.
Oh, I've lost track. It's really old. My distiller. I should touch wood really because it's still working. But
Mega Home distiller?
no, I can't remember what it's
No.
called now.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Um,
I must have had it about 12 years, something like that.
Is it a countertop one
Yeah,
or is
yeah,
it
just
like
a
a big
countertop one.
old
Yeah,
industrial? Okay, yeah. The
just
industrial
four
ones.
liters at a time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's one now. My friend got one because his one broke, and he thought, "I'm going to get this one." It's a 6 liter one,
Right. Okay.
so you
Right.
get two extra. It's always handy,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I not only do I consume it and drink with it, I also cook with it,
Mm.
boil with potatoes and food in it and stuff like that. Because you don't want to cook your stuff in chemicalized tap water,
No.
because you can burn out germs and kill them by boiling, but you will never burn out or boil out chemicals.
No. In
You
fact, you'll make
can't.
them worse. You'll condense them.
Uh, Precisely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People
Yeah.
used to say, "Oh, that's boiled water. It's better." No, no, it ain't, because all you've done is condense the chlorine in it.
Yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
chlorine now
Yeah.
either, is it? It's chlor. Oh, what they've mixed it with? Chloramine. They've mixed it
Okay.
with oh, ammonia, I think.
Mm,
Yeah, not ammonia. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
okay.
But
Yeah, yeah.
the new one isn't chlorine, so it doesn't even evaporate. You can't even boil it out.
Of course you can't. It's just like, what next?
Yeah, chlorine in water. Let me see.
But surely, oh, so how often, this is just a personal question to you. How often do you clean out your water distiller?
Um,
I got a top tip,
go on, go
which will make you never clean it out ever again.
on.
Because it's a chore, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like once a month, if that's what they say, clean it out once a month. I'm like, I have to clean it out about 4 times just to get it back to a basic sheen.
yeah,
The best thing you can do is buy a massive tub of food grade citric acid.
yeah.
And every time before you put the lid back on to do a distillation cycle, put in one, maybe 2 tablespoons of citric acid.
While
And
you're distilling. Yeah,
as it's
yeah,
boiling away, it's cleaning itself.
yeah. It's a good idea.
And obviously, nothing will go through the distillation
No.
process because it's going to trap it all in the bucket.
If you get food grade citric acid, they're actually, and it's not going to do that anyway, but even if it did,
Mm.
there's
Yeah, yeah,
actually some
it's food
benefits
grade.
to citric acid.
Very true.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Um,
everyone thinks acid is going to make you less alkaline, but it's not. I mean, amino
no,
acids
no, no. Look at a
don't make you
lemon.
less alkaline, do they?
Look at a lemon. Lemon's
Yeah,
acidic by nature. You take it, you have alkaline type
yeah,
benefits from it, right?
yeah.
And bleach is alkaline, but you're not going to drink bleach.
No,
So it's yeah.
ironically, and you won't have smelt ozone. Well, you will have smelt ozone.
Oh, no, no, no. So people ozone their houses.
That's right.
It's like a
Yeah,
light blue gas, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you've got a dog and it comes in
Mm.
when you've let it out and it's a dewy day or just been raining and it come in smelling of really strong fresh air, if you like, that's ozone. That's what
Yeah.
it smells of, because that's why they're rolling the grass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Mm.
ozone is made, going back to your distiller
Mm.
explanation. The whole
Mm.
world is a distiller.
Yeah, we
Well,
live in yeah.
ozone's made in the sky. It's made with like
Mm.
lightning and rain and things like that.
Once
So
again,
yeah,
nature has all the answers.
it's Earth's natural disinfectant.
Yeah, yeah.
That should tell you everything about what it does.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
ozone, going back to what you were saying about distilled water, you
Mm.
would say that rainwater is distilled ozone water. That's what a
Yeah,
glacier
yeah,
water is. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. That's like a superior water. Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah.
downside with ozonated water is that the upside is it's one of the only things that boosts my energy instantly. You take it and it's like you've got a hit.
Well,
Yeah. Go on,
because
sorry.
because your diet is very clean and you're conscious about wheat and other certain things that you just won't allow alcohol, sugar, E numbers, preservatives, emulsifiers. I'm guessing you're the same as me in that
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
When you do eat so cleanly after a long time and then you consume the purified water, you get that energy boost quicker than I think if you weren't doing those other things
Mm.
because your vessel is cleaned out and it can connect more to the food you take in
Yeah.
and the water and you
I
just
wish it
feel
worked on everything for me.
okay.
I seem to have, well, I've got methylation issues from an in
Mm.
it. So there's certain things, ozone injections. So intramuscular ozone
Mm.
injections give me loads of energy as well. The irony behind having a 10 pass, most people, my mates come in and they want to break dance after they've had one. It doesn't do that for me or my
Nice.
wife.
Okay, okay.
But everyone's different, aren't
Everyone reacts different, yeah.
they?
With your lime, have you? I'm sure you have. I don't mean to.
No, no, no. I haven't
Um,
done everything. Bloody hell! It's impossible.
have you looked into natural antibiotics like olive leaf and
Yeah, I've taken olive
oregano?
leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The amount of olive oil, I'm not saying it's as good as taking some proper extract, but I've
I'm filled
taken that
with
as well.
organic
Yeah.
olive oil. It's great.
Yeah.
Raw. Yeah,
I
definitely
drink
good.
the amount of olive oil I drink in use in a day.
Yeah, yeah,
It's yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Obviously, a ketogenic diet. I don't
Yeah.
eat. I don't really eat a lot of animal fats. So
Mhm.
a lot of my fats come from olive oil, the main source, and coconut oil. Yeah,
Yeah, same,
they're the two
same.
main. Yeah,
Yeah,
MCT oil,
coconut oil. Yeah.
and uh, MCT oil,
Oh,
coconut oil.
I tell you what, I tell you another great fat which is very underrated, and it can replace any. I don't have peanut butter. Peanuts are not only prone to mold, but there's better stuff out there. Tahini,
Right, right.
which is ground sesame seed, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
high in nutritious good fat. It's
Right.
another source. So if you want that kind of slightly stodgy spread on, your homemade bread or whatever you may make it with, oh,
I'll have to
hits
have it
the
on a
spot.
spoon.
All that, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's many things you could do with tahini, but yeah, that's like a very underrated product. Tahini's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. There's lots of, but if yeah, there's so many good stuff alternatives out there you can find. It's just a matter of digging
Absolutely.
around and seeing what suits you and your diet in
In,
it.
in fact, in my programs, and I still do it verbally though over a video call, I say don't worry about these food replacements. I've got a whole list of the
Mm,
things you love, but
mm,
this is the alternative you'll take for the next 3 months.
yeah,
So, people love pasta, right? But pasta's made of wheat.
yeah,
However, there's red lentil pasta,
yeah,
there's chickpea pasta, there's
yeah,
buckwheat pasta.
yeah,
You've got three replacements there over your
yeah.
one, which is causing inflammation, gut irritation,
Mm.
foggy thinking, and an early grave. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Well, I
Um,
mean, especially the that my first starting one of the first starts with gluten, really. Uh,
mm,
and I know there's
the
been a lot of things about
GM wheat.
yeah, there's been a lot of things about testing, like PCR testing, but there was a
Mm,
guy I was listening to another podcast going back 10 years ago, and I've been listening to these people, and they're talking about blood panels. You need to get these blood panels, viral panels,
mhm,
allergy panels, and things like that. I'm thinking, what the fuck are they on about? It's all new to me, all this stuff.
yeah.
And which ones are they talking about?
Mm.
Because if I go to the doctors, they won't do these types of things. And one of them was called, if anyone's got a pen, you need to write this down, Cyrex, Cyrex, from an allergy testing perspective. Um, they, I did a gluten test with them. Now they're in-depth gluten tests. It's expensive, but they do several tests within this one test. They're renowned for this gluten test. And I was borderline celiac. I was very close
Oh,
to being
really?
celiac.
Mm,
Um, and so no wonder bread was causing me such an issue. Uh,
absolutely.
uh,
Yeah.
and once you see it in writing, it's not
Mm,
that difficult to stop.
mm,
That's one thing. If you get something that's good with testing, a testing perspective, that it does give you, it alleviates a lot of stress. Although, ironically, I remember a guy, he'd been ill for about 10 years, didn't know what was wrong with him. I said, look, you need to do a Lyme test. You've got all the symptoms. And he did
mm.
one, and it came back that he had Lyme. I did this German test. Again, they do an in-depth test, not like the NHS one. And he was really upset. And I said, what are you upset for? Well, I've got Lyme. I said, yeah, but you were ready for topping himself. He was, I said, now surely that gives you some perspective on that you're not actually going insane,
Mm.
that you've actually got something now you can aim your defenses at, if you like, or
Yeah,
attack
yeah,
at,
yeah, yeah, that's true. Take it out on that. Yeah,
Yeah, but we've all got a different way of thinking about things that are positive and negative.
absolutely.
It was a
Yeah,
positive thing for me, so I automatically thought it would be for him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm trying to find this.
That's a hard one to swallow, isn't it? When you're trying to make it positive and the person can't see it that way.
Yes,
It's just like,
yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
how
yeah.
else? You have to think about, yeah.
Chloramine.
Okay.
It is ammonia.
Okay.
I think they add ammonia to the water now, and they mix it with. It's called chloramines. They mix it with chlorine.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a relatively new thing they've started. I'm not saying it's not over the last decade, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Who knows what goes on behind that? But yeah, I mean, they're going to keep probably doing stuff like this changing things up.
Yeah, I mean that bit of advice that Ben's talked about there, water. Obviously, I mean, we'll look at it from, say, again, this is what this podcast I want it to be about, where people can take stuff away and actually use it in their own life. It's not necessarily I'm trying to say to people, ring Ben up and give him business or come to our clinic or buy my supplement. We're not saying that. There's going to be stuff that you think, oh, I will use their services, whoever's on the podcast, or buy that book or wherever it might be. But there'll be also stuff like the water. All right, they're not free, these things. Buying a distiller could cost you £100 or a couple of £100 to get
A
something decent.
good one's about £250. Yeah.
Right. So there is a cost there, but I've had mine for over 10 years. So £25 a year in retrospect isn't that much, is it?
Well, think of it this way: you buy a bottle of water for £1 every day of your life. That's £365 in a year.
Yeah.
So a distiller is not a bad investment,
No.
but I understand you're gonna.
I remember having that conversation with our Chris, and it was 7 or 8 years ago. I said, you should be buying yourself some ozone equipment. And I'm going to do some videos on ozone equipment for people how to do home ozone, things you can do at home. Because I always think if you can have your own clinic at home, there's stuff you can never do at home, like intravenous stuff, right? You're going to want a nurse to do that, someone who's trained to do it, right? Whatever the intravenous might be, but you're going to want somebody who's trained. But there are certain things you can do at home, like clean water, like doing ozone treatments. We'll leave it there for this episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll probably have a bit of an outro, so you can listen to that. Thanks, Ben.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Can you just repeat your website again for people if they want to get in touch with you?
No problem. benbellnaturalhealth.com.
Welcome to the Feelgood Factor podcast. Now please welcome your host, Dom Watterson.